Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to Phil's Recap and Review. This is the feedback show for episode 2 of season 7, Stormborn, and we're here today to take all your questions and comments, and I am not alone. As always, I have with me the awesome folks in the live motherfucking chat here joining us today, and I've got all of your feedback questions. We've got some voicemails, we also have some text, and we have some emails and stuff that we'll be dealing with today. And we also have a phone line open for anyone that might want to call in and leave their thoughts live and in person right now if you're feeling brave. And that's at 657-383-0370. Again, that's 657-383-0370. Trust me, we do bite, and it is awesome. And you'll enjoy every fucking second of that. But I'm not alone today. I have with me a co-host on these feedback shows. I'm trying to bring you other YouTube people that make videos maybe about Game of Thrones, maybe not. But I have with me one of my favorite YouTube people out there making some exceptional videos. And if you haven't checked out his channel, I cannot say it enough. Here's Nick's page right here. This is History Buffs. We have Nick Hodges from History Buffs. Welcome today, Nick.
Hello, how's it going?
It's going fucking awesome. I'm super excited to have you here. We've been talking about this for a little while. If people want to know more about History Buffs, you can check out a podcast that Nick and I did on the channel probably about 6 months ago or something. You can find that in the link in the description box below, and you can find out all about History Buffs. But if people want to know what History Buffs is, Nick basically takes historical movies, television shows, some other content as well, some podcasts, and some trailer reactions. And he gives you kind of how historically accurate they are. But it's not as dry. He rips in a lot of fun, a lot of amazing editing, and a lot of colorful metaphors and a lot of shit. I'm embarrassing Nick.
Thank you. No, that's all right. No, that's really sweet. Thank you.
But yeah, if you haven't checked out Nick at History Buffs, I cannot recommend it enough. If you're curious about Game of Thrones, he did do one Game of Thrones video about a couple of years ago now. And this was a video, if anyone's... member of Red Team Review, Carmine shared his video a couple years ago. It was how Game of Thrones is like history books. But we're here today to force Nick to answer questions, answer your Game of Thrones questions. And M in the live chat says, I fucking hate History Buffs, hardcore fangirling right now. Red Sox Sen says, hi, Nick.
Hello.
Fuck, dude. And I have you up. I'm even like talking to your cartoon right now. If you looked at the actual screen, I have your cartoon. I got Nick History Buffs with the live chat on the screen right now. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you to everyone that's tuning in today. And it's not too late to get your questions in. You can get them in at 781-990-8509 if you want to leave a voicemail or text. Jump in the live chat. We'll get as much of that as possible. You can also email me at igotissuesman@gmail.com. We'll try to get to as many questions as possible. We got Nick on for about an hour, so let's not waste any fucking time. Let's get right to it. Let's ask our first question. And M says she's a real fangirl of yours, Nick, and she's excited that you're on the air here. So why don't we take her question first, just to completely embarrass her. So
yeah.
So this is M for you, Nick, and let me turn down that fucking music. Oh shit! Turn the music off. No one wants to hear this shit. Okay, turn that off, and let's play M's message. See, Nick, I'm so egocentric that I basically just use my own music in my show so I can listen to myself, basically so I don't have to pay copyright. So I just
that's fine, absolutely.
I just play all my own music.
Yeah.
So thank you, Iron, for sharing Nick's channel, Nick's Twitter, and please subscribe to Nick, follow Nick, and all of that stuff. So let's not waste any time, and enough of me licking Nick's testicles. Let's get into the show.
Just calling because they really threw a monkey wrench into Dany's plan since Euron fucked up the Greyjoys. And now he said that he was going to bring Cersei a priceless gift to prove that like he was worthy of marrying her. But I don't see Yara as being a priceless gift. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what the fuck is going on with Euron right now. Like, if he's going to be bringing Yara back to Cersei, or if he's just going to be doling out some good old-fashioned fucking, vengeance and violence towards the Greyjoys, to get him out of his way. So, I don't know. What do you think, Phil?
Excellent question. Nick, do you have any thoughts on Euron, what his plan is, and what the gift to Cersei might be?
Sorry, I wasn't able to hear what she was asking on through the Skype call, so I had to turn the audio up on the video itself. But does she say what was Euron's plan with Yara?
Yes.
Yes.
Two-part question. What is Euron's plan with Yara, and what is the gift for Cersei?
Oh, the sand snakes,
Yes.
isn't it? Like
Yeah.
the daughter of the Martell girl, the sand girl.
Yes, we can call her the sand shit. That's enough. The sand girl.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The ones who murdered Cersei's daughter, Melisandre. No, Melisandre. What the fuck am I talking about? What was her name?
Her name, Marcella.
Marcella. Yeah, yeah. So that's the priceless gift. That's the way I see it. But as for Yara, I can't think of what he could be wanting to do with her. I mean, maybe torture her and try to, I guess, coax Theon out of hiding. But I'm not sure how that's gonna go.
Yeah, I tend to think it's I hear the Thing, the Fantastic Four member of the Thing going, it's clobbering time. I hear Euron going, it's raping time. I think Yara is in some serious trouble right now, and she's going to be Euron's play toy for a long time. And I tend to agree. At first, I thought the gift might be Tyrion, that he was going to try to kidnap Tyrion, but it makes a lot more sense. It's going to be Ilaria Sand and Bad Pussy, whatever daughter she is, and a couple people have said this, and I agree. They're basically going to probably sick the mountain on them or just torture them in front of Cersei. Cersei's going to enjoy every second of torture. Oh, we got Carmine from Red Team Review. My boyfriend Nick Hodges is on.
Hey.
Y'all better show some fucking respect. Lots of love to Carmine. One of the great guys out there. Very, very good people. Nick, I felt like I jumped the gun a little bit to get right into the feedback. I'm curious about what are some of your basic thoughts and some of your general thoughts of the first two episodes of Game of Thrones season 7?
I thought it opened up with a bang when the Walder Frey had everyone killed when Arya Stark was wearing his face. So that was pretty exciting, and it's just finally seeing Dany in Westeros. So it's something that I've been looking forward to for years. So I'm really curious to see how everything's going to go.
Yeah, me too. I've been excited. I think a lot of people have been excited for that Daenerys going on Westeros thing. I'm not even the biggest Daenerys fan, and I'm sort of getting a little into that scenes. Those are the scenes I'm looking forward to the most. And I want to see her make mistakes. I want to see this season be a lot more about her failing and having to kind of learn on-the-job training again and show how the world in Westeros is so much different than the way she tried to lead in Essos. And I also do think you're seeing creeping moments of her wanting to burn people, like with Varys, and she was all happy, like, I'll burn people. I'll be very happy if I burn people.
Well, she's trying to justify herself because she's in a completely new world with traditions that she's not entirely familiar with, other than what she's been told or read in books. And now she's having to validate herself to these, new people who are saying that things are done a certain way.
100%. I don't want to bring up a shitty movie, but it reminds me of Short Circuit when Johnny Five just keeps reading and reading, and he reads about things, and then he goes out and tries to do things.
Yeah.
Johnny Five is alive. The wonderful Carmine from Red Team Review just donated $5 on Super Chat to get the party started. When we get Super Chat donations, what we like to do here is we have a little silly wheel that we spin to give Carmine a prize. I know he doesn't want a prize. He just wants to show us some love, but I'm still going to make Carmine. I'm going to force it on him. I'm going to force love on you, Carmine. Here it is. I'm spinning the wheel. So thank you so much to Carmine about that. So yeah, I agree with you. I like this season started off the bang. I really enjoy the Arya scene. I like watching her as Walder Frey murder a bunch of people. And I like watching her. My biggest thing that I'm excited about this season, I've talked about this a lot, Nick, it's that with Game of Thrones, similar to what you were saying, it's like a history book. There's so much rich history, so much of it that could seem like a parallel to real life events. But then you got magic. And all these other characters that have never seen magic, how they see it. Like seeing characters like Littlefinger and Cersei and Varys Varys saw magic when he was younger, but seeing these things for the first time, seeing dragons and White Walkers, those are the things I'm most excited about, Nick.
Yeah, I'm also wondering how in the hell is Littlefinger still trying to play the game if he knows the army of the dead are coming, unless he doesn't actually believe in it.
Yeah, he said that in some of the things he was saying to John earlier. Yeah, that's a very good point. He's talking about, and what's to come later, and everyone keeps saying this. Someone like Littlefinger, if he really knew the White Walkers were coming, would he be wasting time trying to lay seeds of discontent between the North? He seems like a smart enough guy at core of who Littlefinger is that he would be like, okay, wait. I can wait on this shit. Let's see what happens after this big battle with the White Walkers. Then I'll take over the Ashes, or I'll take over a weaker Westeros with after the
Yeah.
White Walkers do their business. But right now, it would be stupid of me to try to put a stake between Jon Snow and Sansa. And to me, that's one of the biggest blunders in these first couple of episodes. It's that Littlefinger seems to be really dumb. Hopefully he has something else going on that we don't know.
I'm guessing so. I mean, wondering how he's trying to win Daenerys later. If since he doesn't exactly have a good rep with Varys or Tyrion.
And that's another thing too. People have said this a lot in reviews, and I didn't even think about it at the time. But when Jon goes and meets Tyrion, he's just gonna say, "Oh, Littlefinger's there. Don't trust that guy." Not that Jon needs to be told that, but pretty much everything's gonna be out of the bag soon with Littlefinger, and he's just it's gonna be too late for him.
Yeah.
I just don't get his sorry, I forgot to hit the record button. I forgot to hit the record button on the audiocast. It's I don't get what he's thinking right now, Nick. I think he's it's almost like they're having to make him stupid to rationalize him dying at some point.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's I don't get it. So let's get to let's look in the live fucking chat. Carmine says in the books, Euron takes a bastard girl, sleeps with her, and later straps her to the front of his ship as he sails out to Highgarden. I'm kind of hoping Euron does that to Tyene, bad pussy of the Dorne. Euron strapping the girl to the ship is a sneak peek of a chapter of Winds of Winter. So I just want to say, hey, everybody, welcome to the audio podcast. I did not hit record earlier, so anyone's listening to this, definitely check out the YouTube channel to watch the first like 10 minutes of this show. But if not, thank you so much for checking out this podcast. Welcome. We got Nick Hodges from History Buffs here, and we're going to take our second question. I'll reiterate what the question is, Nick, if you cannot hear it too well through Skype. But let me play this and see if you can hear it.
Right, cheers.
Hey, Phil, Katie, Joe, how's it going? Love the show. I wanted to call and let you know. I was rewatching the episodes, the last episodes of season 6 and 7, and I noticed a clue that y'all may not have noticed. I didn't see it recently. Apparently, in the last season 6, the water next to the wall in the opening credits is blue and not frozen. And in season 7, in both episodes, when they show the wall to the east side where Eastwatch is, it's frozen. So I'm wondering if the Night King and the army are going to actually walk around the wall. Go back and listen to the Hound's words very carefully. I think that would be kind of cool to kind of sneak an Easter eggs in. All right, well, I'll catch you later for the recap. Yeah, have a good one. Bye.
Were you able to hear that?
No, I was listening back to on the video. But was he asking about that sea passage around the wall by Eastwatch?
Yes. What do you think about that?
I think that's a really good idea. But don't you also feel that it's kind of cheeky? They've been building up this wall all these seasons, and all it takes is to go around the fucking thing. It's kind of a cheat, I feel like.
I agree. I think maybe, and I also don't think the White Walker army might go with one strategy. I do think that's kind of a cheat if they decide to go around like that. I definitely see what you're saying. I think the wall needs visually to come down. You don't create the whole Wall album. And again, I'm not comparing everything to Pink Floyd, but maybe I do. You don't create the Wall album. You don't build. I think Roger Waters might have said this in an interview somewhere. He goes, "You don't build a fucking wall in front of an audience to not break the shit down." I'm paraphrasing, but it's the same thing on Game of Thrones. You built up the magic of this wall. You have so many characters saying how safe they are. Yada yada yada. I do think there's going to be a big battle around there at Eastwatch by the Sea. We've heard a lot from what the Hound said, but I don't think maybe the humans will win that battle to a certain extent, and the White Walkers will have to go to a different path. Or maybe, who knows what will happen in that situation. But I think one way or another, I agree, it is a fucking cheat if the wall doesn't come down. We have to see the wall come down, right?
Yeah, they can't go around it. I think they can't go above it. Like, it's not fair they come in, like, across ice dragons or whatever, or they tunnel underneath it. They have to smash it through. So, I mean, I guess that they're doing it for a reason because Tormund is going to Eastwatch. So possibly we'll see, like, a battle, maybe at the end of the season when the White Walkers are just smashing through. But maybe it was like a distraction that they're coming around the other side or doing something differently.
Yeah. I don't see it being that simple. It would just be a workaround. And I mean, you can keep saying the same thing, but it's true. It's just you don't build something up that much, that long, and not have it come down. You have to. It has to happen. And so I think multiple points of attack. Maybe one group will come around, one group will go through the wall. They'll attack all the towers at the same time, or some of the ones with the most of the people because they want to kill people and add to their army. Maybe they'll kill all the people at Eastwatch and then decide to do something else, bring down the wall. I think the wall does come down.
Have you seen any theory videos about the possibility that the wall was built by the White Walkers themselves?
I have heard a little bit about that, to keep the other people out, to keep the humans out.
Yeah, like it's like their own border, and since they have magical powers concerning ice, it does bear little credence. So I was thinking that if it'd be really badass if like the Night King just raised his arms up again and the wall just crumbled, and then that's how they get through.
That would be such a badass moment. Some part of me, some part of me, and I don't know if the timing works out, thinks that the White Walkers were just awoken because they had a feeling that the Dragon Queen was going to come back. And in some alternate universe, in my mind, Daenerys is the villain and the White Walkers are the good guys that are marching down to stop her and stop the Lord, or stop the Lord of Light from gaining power or some shit like that. That the White Walkers are not. And I think when it comes to the books or the whole Game of Thrones thing, very rarely, and I'm trying to think if there's any exact examples, we don't have anyone that's truly good. And I don't think it's as simple as having anyone that's truly evil either. And I think one way or another, the White Walker situation isn't as simple as it is apparently going to be. It isn't as simple as, oh, they're coming down because they want to destroy humanity because. There's something going on. And it's something deeper, and maybe we won't get into that as much on the show and the books, and the show will be a little bit more of this army versus this army, and the evil ice versus the good fire.
You really think it's going to be like Lord of the Rings with like the Uruk-hai attacking Helm's Deep?
I don't want to get too down here and too negative, but when it comes down to it, I think the show is going to wrap up similar to that. I think it might have a bittersweet ending at the top of it, but I think we are going to get that kind of battle in season 8 of Game of Thrones. I think it's going to get a little. And I don't necessarily mean this word in a negative sense all the time. The ending of the show is going to be more Hollywood than the ending of the books.
What do you think about the end of this season? Do you think the last episode, we're going to see the White Walkers break through the wall? And then the next season's all about the Great War between the dead and the living?
Yeah, I think all of this season, generally, we'll see a couple touches of White Walkers. We'll see a scene like we saw in Season 4 with the baby, or in Season 5 with Hardhome. There'll be like one White Walker episode in episode like 5 or 6 or something like that. And it will be what you were saying before, the Eastwatch by the Sea thing, where we'll see a battle with the wildlings and the White Walkers and stuff. But most of this season will be about Westeros dealing with Dany, and a lot of the forces of the people, even more dead bodies lining up, so that the Night King has even more bodies for his army. It's just going to be, this whole season is. And I don't mean it in the sense of I'm not entertained by it. I mean in what the humans are doing is a whole big giant fucking jerk off. And it's just going to help the White Walker army. And then next season is going to be the remaining humans that are alive after dealing with, all the wars for Daenerys becoming in charge or whatever happens at the end of the season. That's going to be everyone going, oh shit, wait a minute. Jon Snow wasn't exaggerating. We're fucked. And
I was just going to ask a quick question as well. What do you think about how Winter is actually portrayed in the season? I'm kind of it's a bit of a letdown for me.
Yeah, and especially when you take into account that they said that they stopped production and that the season got pushed up partially because of season problems, because they wanted to, winter was coming, so they had to film in the right months for the right kind of weather. I think it should look a lot more like it did in that very first scene that we got with the Hound, when we saw the Hound and Beric and all those guys walking through the snow. Everything in north of the Twins should look like that right now.
Yeah, I agree. Because, let's face it, King's Landing doesn't seem that bad. I mean, if I was living in Westeros, I'd just head down south for the winter.
Yeah, exactly. I want to see it be like it was in the north in season 1 in King's Landing, and
Yeah.
and then everywhere north of that is basically you just see it. It's like varying degrees of blizzard until you get up to like around Winterfell, where Jon shouldn't even be able to. It should be like whiteout conditions, and he can't see shit in front of him.
Yeah, like in The Thing or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, Nick, I got to run to the other room and get water, so I'm going to ask you a question, and have you answer it while I run to get water.
All right.
Now,
Okay.
here we go. Aria was on. Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, it's Melissa from Baltimore. Hubby says I was too drunk to call in live. So was anyone really into the Varys and Daenerys confrontation? I was waiting for it, and it's exactly what I wanted. Nick, could you talk a little bit about the Varys and Dany conversation?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I just give you my quick impressions about it, but I think it's cool that someone finally calls Varys out on his bullshit, and Dany appreciates honesty, and the fact that they're able to have a legitimate conversation kind of lets each character know where they stand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think it's really cool, and I think that was one of the awesome aspects of that scene too. I was only half listening to you, so I'm assuming. But
Yeah.
is that Varys, seeing Varys just talk on the level and be so directly honest about that. And on some level, I think Daenerys definitely started to respect him for that and could understand that. No amount of explaining is going to get away. If someone fucks you over and you don't know the reasons why, that you can't really, they're never going to explain to you to make it all right. You just need to know where that person stands. And I think it's easier. It's like the devil you know or the devil you don't know. And when Daenerys knows what kind of person Varys is, it's easier for her to deal with. He'll never be able to apologize for the things he did or rationalize. And I love how he dealt with that. To me, that felt like...
Yeah, he saved his ass with just one line where he said, I would do it again. I don't reward incompetence. Yep. I serve only the people, not the kings and queens. And she's like, okay, all right, I respect that.
Fair. And it's an excellent point because blind allegiance is just fucking stupid. And in any situation, it's unless you are forced to do that because of contractual work agreements and you have to like listen to your boss. I just told my boss to fuck off because the issues guy told me to. No, that's not what I mean. I mean, ultimately, but if your boss fucking murders someone, you're probably going to have to, unless you really hate that person. No, if your boss fucking murders someone, you're going to have to break it down. Carmine says, I like how Dany was kind of playing Varys a little. She was putting him on notice and testing him. Vetting him. She needs to know if she can trust him, and making him sweat a little bit can do that because it made him be real. And she was talking to him to do the poker thing. She's sitting at the table. She's like, "So what do you got over there, Varys? You got four queens? You have four queens?" And seeing what Varys says to her, and he was direct.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's go to hashtag Varys for the people. Let's go to our text line over here. And we've got a quick text message right now. Question. Piggy backing off the earlier question. Maybe the White Walkers go around the wall and go straight to Dragonstone. Maybe that's why the Hound says met by seeing an arrowhead mountain. Maybe the Night King brings down the wall later to show the humans that they never were safe. Maybe it's the reason why the Night King showed Jon everything at Hardhome. You prideful human, I can break you. Wrong effect. But you prideful human, that was supposed to be a deep voice. You prideful human, I can break you at any point in time I want. And do you think maybe...
Isn't Dragonstone a wee bit far away from the wall?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to Dragonstone, but I do agree with the fact that maybe they could go around East Watch by the sea and then bring down the wall from the other side to show the humans how little power they ever had on them.
Wait. You're saying that they're going to go around the wall and then just destroy the wall from the other side? What? Wait, what? How does that make sense?
I know. I don't really think they're going to do that. I just want to see that wall come down either way, Nick.
Yeah. That would be dickish, though.
We
don't even need to destroy the wall while you're doing it.
We don't need to. We're just doing it to say fuck you. It's just one giant fuck you. Oh my God. Varys felt the burn, but he did stand his ground, says Peter Griffin.
Yeah.
So let's go over to this one. Is Littlefinger going to try to convince Sansa to stay queen in the north and betray her brother? I feel like he is going to try to convince her that Jon is naive and she should take over. What do you think about that, Nick?
I think Jon has to really do something questionable to provoke something out of her. Because if she just gets used to her position and enjoys it, then she is a real cow, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. But I think with the way the show goes, Jon Snow has to make a decision that is controversial, like what he did with letting the wildlings south of the wall.
See, I think what's going to happen, I agree with you. Jon Snow would have to do something huge for her to betray. I think she likes putting her toe in the water of fucking over her family, but she ultimately never would. She just gets off in the power trip of being like, I could if I wanted to. I don't think she'll actually go there, especially when two people are on their way back to Winterfell that both aren't going to take Littlefinger's shit and aren't going to let her think that way. Bran's coming back, who honestly is taking forever. There's weird times going on, like time jumps and shit. And Jon's getting 2 ravens at Winterfell, one from Sam, one from Dragonstone. But Ed didn't send him a raven from the wall to say that his brother's there. I don't know. That's a little weird to me.
Maybe that raven's still oncoming. I mean, problems with weather. I mean, it is winter now, so
fair. Yeah. That's where the snow is. The snow is right around the wall, and the raven's just very slow. But Bran is coming to Winterfell, and all it's going to take him is to go, I know everything about Littlefinger, Sansa. Kill this guy. And Arya's going to come there and be like, Sansa, you're listening to this piece of shit? I'm going to kill him now for you, and you won't even have to think, Sansa. And I think once Littlefinger's completely out of the situation, she's never going to betray her family.
Yeah. When do you think that he's going to reach Winterfell, Bran?
Next episode, maybe. I was hoping he would get there before Jon left, but I guess it makes sense because him and Jon can't meet yet. Because once him and Jon meet, like so much stuff has to be put out there. Because they're the 2 other people. He's the other person that's seen the White Walkers. He knows his parentage. He knows all of that. How's Bran getting there? Is my question. Is Mary gonna have to drag his ass or is Ed gonna send some Night's Watch soldiers down to drag? He should. Maybe it's a storm. You mentioned that in passing, but you could be right. It could be a huge storm that's causing him some time. So I think he'll be there in the next 2 episodes.
Yeah, well, I'm just thinking about. Do you remember when Nan was telling Bran the story about when the long winter came, and she was saying how cold it was that the lords froze to death in their castles next to their fires and stuff like that? It doesn't seem that cold yet. So I guess, is that still for the next season?
Yeah, in winter's here. We got the Raven from the Citadel. We know winter is supposed to be really here. It should be exceptionally cold.
It seems okay. Yeah.
I know. I'd hang out in that compared to some Massachusetts, or I'm sure some London winters. It doesn't seem too bad. Bad. So here we go. Let's ask another question. Is there any chance that Grey Worm does not die in the next few episodes after his sex scene? No. He's dead man walking.
Yeah, he might as well hand in his retirement plans.
It was, again, I'm not comparing it to a different show, way better show, but it's like in The Walking Dead when a character decides to have an emotional moment or conquer a barrier or look at a picture and have a longing moment of joy. Death is coming.
Yeah.
He's dead. I'm at work, but I wanted to say hi to the fans of Phil the Issues Guy on YouTube. I'm on my lunch break. I'll be listening after work. Just sneaking in a text to send you guys some love. Oh, thank you so much for sending that text. If Dany attacks Casterly Rock, she's attacking Cersei's pride. It's a good callback to season 2 when the Greyjoys attacked Winterfell, and Robb said, how can he call himself the king if he can't hold his own castle? This is going to make Cersei spit out her precious Dornish wine. So what do you think Cersei's reaction is going to be when they attack Casterly Rock, Nick?
That's a really good question. She might not send any troops out.
She can't. She fucking can't. She doesn't have that many troops.
Yeah. Because Casterly Rock is really far away from King's Landing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I guess the way she sees it, like, King's Landing is now her home. And, she and her brother Jaime are the last Lannisters left. And they're not even at Casterly Rock. So She's like, oh, I'm not the head of Castle Rock. I'm the queen of the Seven Kingdoms.
Who is at Castle Rock? Anyone in the live chat that might know this? Is Kevin oh no, Kevin's dead.
Oh yeah, all the Lannisters are dead.
Yeah, all the Lannisters are dead. Like, who is at Castle Rock right now? Nobody. Just some rando soldiers with one of the young Lannisters that Cersei used to fuck or something. Like,
yeah,
it's.
I guess so.
Yeah, no, it's gonna. I think she's gonna freak out and hate Tyrion and want to do something, but Jaime, at least advising her from a military standpoint, know that they can't give up troops. They can't leave King's Landing, especially when at least the Tyrell army starts to lay siege on King's Landing eventually. Yeah.
Do you think that Castle Rock is going to be taken? Do you think they're going to win? Mm-hmm. Or do you think they're going to get their asses kicked?
I think they're going to win, because I think Tyrion theoretically gave them some intel about it. Tyrion grew up there. He probably has some knowledge of the weak parts of Castle Rock. And Tyrion is a pretty smart strategic commander that we've seen that he has at least some elements of what Tywin had.
Didn't he work as he ran sanitation for Castle Rock?
Right. So there's that shot in one of the early pictures that shows Grey Worm like looking into looking like he's heading into a hole in the back of Castle Rock. So
they might be using the sewer system or something to come up from the bottom. Yeah.
Exactly. So, oh shit, Red Team, another donation for Super Chat.
Well done, Carmine.
Why are there virgins in the show so good eating pussy? First John, then Grey Worm. Who's next? Bran? Why do these people, and I will speak for example, as in someone that had to learn this. I had to read books. I used to take issues of Cosmo that would give you quizzes and shit and read how to give away. And I read a lot of stuff. I needed to learn to be subpar at it. So, and I'm still subpar at it, but I had to learn very hard. It was not a natural instinct. So that's a good question about Game of Thrones. So Carbide, excellent question. Give you another fucking spin of the wheel, motherfucker. But so yeah, he does know the sewers. He will give them plenty of intel. People in the live chat loving that question from Carmine. So last text for right now, and is there any chance that Grey Worm doesn't die? And who did you find the most attractive nude actor or actress since this show's inception? The Joffrey actor last season with the wart on his cock, that was amazing. That was beautiful. I would say, if I'm being completely superficial, it would be a cross between Missandei and Robb Stark's wife, Charlie Chaplin's granddaughter there.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah. that was my answer too, Missandei. Yeah, she's a pretty girl.
Yeah, she's a lovely looking young lady, that Missandei.
Yeah. Yes.
So yes. So yeah, I agree with Carmine saying in core, if we just look at it from a simple logic standpoint, they're letting romance or the moment take over from reality. Grey Worm would not know what the fuck to do. At all. No.
Like, all he knows is soldiering.
Yeah. He soldiered his way through it. That's all that happened in that situation.
Yeah, and I don't think Cunnilingus is very well known in Westeros, or even in any place. Because when Ygritte was talking to Jon Snow, she's like, does everyone do that south of the wall? And he's like, fuck no, I just made it up on the spot. Yeah.
We do have a couple calls. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to hear the caller, but I'll take the question and kind of repeat it. Let's see if you can hear it. So, caller, area code 919. You're on the air. What's going on today?
Hey, this is the Bloody Talker. What's going on?
How's it going?
How you guys doing?
We're doing great. Nick, can you hear him by chance?
No, I can't. Sorry.
You hear me?
I can hear you, buddy. But...
All right, well, then tell Nick I'm a big fan. I've been subscribed for a long time. I love his stuff. And if he wants to give us a thumbs up or thumbs down, 5 seconds, no spoilers on Dunkirk, that would be awesome. But real quick, I just wanted to say, disappointed in Tyrion. I think he majorly fucked up here. But just poor military decisions overall. I've never heard of planning your invasion of or any conquest or whatever after you land on the continent you want to conquest. Mm-hmm. It kind of seems like the reverse order of things. You know, you send your fleet out from the middle of the sea. You don't have to travel along the coastline where you're easily ambushed by pirates. You could have also sent Grey Worm with the fleet that she has, along with Asha, along the coast, and then hook around Dorne to the Iron Islands, you would have doubled your fleet. Euron wouldn't have won. There's so many things that he just failed here on a military aspect, and I think it's because of his hubris, where he just thinks they're so overwhelmingly strong compared to the other parties that there really isn't any reason to think about these little things that could screw up, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm disappointed in the little man, you know, I really am. But I want to also real quick just give a big thumbs up to the writing and direction so far this season. I think the extra year of time actually does show a little bit. There's a lot of really good themes and foreshadowing that's been going on in the episodes. You have Grey Worm's speech where he's talking about being afraid as a boy and, you know, the drowning, the sink or swim kind of thing. And then you have Theon, who's lost his manhood, is now basically a boy again, who's faced with that fear, and then he chooses to jump to the water. You've got, I'm blanking right now, but there's a bunch of stuff like that that's really good theming throughout the episodes. Every time I watch it, I just find new connections, but I think that's pretty good.
Excellent call, Bloody Talker. So I don't know how much you heard of that, Nick, listening on the replay, but I'd love to get your thoughts on Tyrion's military plan. Do you think this was a bad plan to split up your forces? He was saying about it was bad idea to run your ships around the coast. You'd be easy pickings for pirates. They should have kept their forces together and immediately gone to King's Landing and stuff like that. What do you think about the military ability of one Tyrion Lannister?
Well, I see where he's coming from. He's trying to win the popular support amongst the people. I mean, they're used to tyrants, basically, like Cersei destroying the Sept, which is like destroying the Vatican, you know, so they already have that as an advantage. But Daenerys hasn't proven herself to the people. They don't really know her, other than she's the daughter of the Mad King. So I could see where he's coming from there. As for sending the fleet down the coast, I'll be honest with you, I don't know why they just sent the Martells to Dorne first.
Yeah.
Before landing at Dragonstone. I mean, like, I'm guessing like the Narrow Sea, it takes like, I don't know, a few weeks to get from Essos to Westeros. What did they do the whole time on the ride over?
Yeah, were they just standing on the foot of the ship with that that looking out to the water? Did they?
Yeah, it's like any minute now.
Yeah, any
minute.
we'll get there. Let's not talk. Let's not strategize. We can't strategize on a boat. We don't have weeks and weeks in a fucking room that we could talk about our plan and work it out. We have to wait till we get to Dragonstone and get that map because we need that. We need that toy. We need the prop.
Exactly.
It's fun.
So I mean, that's the only thing. As for Euron's fleet taking Yara's fleet, it was nighttime, it was stormy weather, and he is a more seasoned commander of the sea than she is, and older. So I could buy why that happened. I mean, sometimes just shit happens when it comes to war, but yeah, they should have planned it out beforehand.
Yeah,
rather than just improvising what they're going to do when they land at Westeros.
Yeah.
They need to hit the. I mean, imagine if they did that on D-Day.
Yeah, it would just be stupid. Or if they were in the basement drinking and playing sex games and shit like that instead of discussing strategies as they were leading up, like right when they were almost there. It's kind of ridiculous that they didn't plan that stuff ahead of time. And we're gonna take in last question he had. Quick thumbs up or thumbs down to Dunkirk.
Oh, thumbs up. I mean, I enjoyed the film, but there are a few things that I was a little bit frustrated at, but overall it was a good film.
Cool. So here we go. Let's take another call. And sorry about you cannot hear the calls, but we have one more person on hold, and we'll take one more call. Mate. And Nick thinking of doing it the smart way, watching the video so you can listen to it on delay. So here we go. Let's take area code 347. What's going on, 347?
Hey, what's up, guys? If you go to Old Town, the High Tower is built over an old fortress, and that fortress sits on an island called Battle Isle. Now, nobody remembers why it's called that, like it's been lost to history. And this isn't a storyline that people think is going to be explored in the show, but in the Season 6 Blu-ray extras, they drop it in the middle of the Old Town chapter, seemingly for no reason. And in the past, what they put on the Blu-ray has in the future been included in the show.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if you think this mystery is eventually going to become part of the show storyline.
Okay, good question. Nick, do you think the mystery of Battle Isle and some more stuff about the Citadel, do you think on the show the Citadel is just going to be Sam's adventures, and once Sam and Jorah, or once Jorah leaves, we're going to get less exploration of stuff going on in the Citadel, or do you think that's going to really be something on the show?
Well, I didn't really know what else there is to see about it. I mean, like, I just saw the Citadel as a stand-in for Alexandria, in Egypt during the Greek and Roman times, and obviously the tower is the lighthouse. So I thought that's what it was supposed to be as a stand-in for. But I didn't know anything else about Battle Isle and its importance there. So I really think that once if Jorah gets cured, hopefully he doesn't infect
Sam.
Sam.
Yeah,
I was just watching when he was doing that operation. Like, Sam, do you want to put on a mask, mate? I'm just really worried you're gonna get some pus in your eye.
Dude, I was thinking the same thing in the scene that both of them were looking at him. I know they had those like makeshift gloves on, but this is supposed to be really contagious. Say he grabs Sam. Jorah's touched a lot of people. How is it not, like, how easily does grayscale spread? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to be fuzzy here and there, so yeah, I think for the show right now, the Citadel's not going to be explored that much, and that won't end up being something. But I do think Sam's going to cure Jorah, but he should be sick too because he touched a whole shit ton of grayscale. But whatever. But I guess now that he knows the cure, if he sees a little piece of it, he can just cut that bit out of his skin and put the ointment on. So
yeah, they don't really have that much time anymore to go and explore. I mean, like, ever since the start of the last season, this one, characters have been almost teleporting to places. Really, remember when it used to take like 4 episodes to get from one point to another? Now Varys, like, do you remember last season? Varys inexplicably is able to be in Dawn and then back on the fleet with Dany heading back to Westeros. I just think that was kind of a wasted trip.
Yep.
He should have just stayed.
They're doing that a lot with just yada-yadaing time. It's hard to quite put a finger on how much time's going on at any given point. The time in the North, how much time has Jon spent there since the Battle of the Bastards? We know it's been a little while, but then he's getting ravens from Dragonstone, he's getting ravens from the Citadel, and I don't know. There's just it's hard to quite put a finger on it. But Arya's going all the way from the Twins up to that inn that everyone goes to see Hot Pie. Shireen was infected by a doll. Someone said, "Oh, grayscale is an instant infection on contact," says Amanda Dixon. Yeah, then if it's an instant, then Jorah's given a lot of people grayscale.
Yeah, I mean, he's not wearing any gloves. I mean, that's a little bit selfish.
Yeah,
I'd like to say, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. What a selfish asshole. So we got another text here. We're going to probably be on for another 20 minutes or so. We're going to have Nick for about an hour here. Huge thanks to Nick for giving us some time here to answer some of your questions. So if anyone has any more text comments or questions they want to get in, 781-990-8509 to leave the message. We also have a couple of other we have some Skype calls. I think you can hear this message, so let me play this because I played this for you before the show. I think you can hear this one. This is from Joshua.
Hey Phil, hey guys, it's Josh, and I just wanted to bring up a quick point. If you remember the last conversation Dany had with Martell woman, she said, "You are not a sheep, you're a dragon. Don't listen to the smart men." And she got to a stage by not listening to them. Now, seeing as this plan seems to be Tyrion's plan, and Tyrion wanted to not be the Queen of Ashes and get the Westerosi soldiers and Dornish soldiers to come down and lay siege on King's Landing, and that's obviously failed. What do you think Dany's going to do? I have a feeling she's just going to go screw it, and she's going to go in with her dragons. What do you think, seeing as that first part of the plan has failed? How do you think Dany's going to react, and what do you think she's going to do? Love you guys. See ya.
Good, very, very good question, Nick. And what do you think about that? What's Dany's reaction to this loss going to be?
Oh, I didn't hear that at all. Sorry.
Okay. But ultimately, what's Danny's reaction now going to be with to the loss? And what is her strategy going to be now? Is she going to say fuck it now and bring her dragons to King's Landing?
To whose loss? I didn't hear any of that.
Oh no, that's
sorry.
okay. To the Greyjoy fleet being lost now. To Euron having that big victory over her.
Well, she's going to have to rely on the Tyrells. I mean, obviously. So numbers aren't on her side as much as before. Who knows? Maybe she might have to ditch Tyrion's, plan. I mean, the bottom line with this war is to win the Iron Throne, and and things are going to happen. So it might not matter as much on how you win it in the end of the day. I mean, you could see about ruling nicely after everything is said and done.
Jim Tonic in the chat says she's just going to burn some random guy for fun. That's what she's going to do.
No, she's not.
Danny's going to go full dragon, and she will scare the crap out of Tyrion seeing the destruction. That's why there's that moment of Tyrion looking so worried in the trailer that we see, where he kind of looks up and looks really fucking scared. She has to listen to Olenna and learn how to send those dragons. The penis... What? Theon equals the biggest bitch in Game of Thrones. Question about that at the end. Before, I know we do have a question, but I want to make sure I get to this one. What was your thoughts on, did Theon, I know he reeked out, but ultimately did he make the right decision in that moment to live to fight another day there? Should he have just killed himself to try to save his sister?
Yeah, his sister's never gonna let that down, no matter what.
Yeah.
I mean, even if he rescues her at the end of the show and everything, it's gonna be an awkward ride home back to the island.
Theon, beep, beep, what the fuck's your fucking problem?
It was totally my grand strategy. Yeah, live to fight another day.
Okay, Nymeria asked, what about Randall Tarley and Olenna? Do you think Randall Tarley will betray Olenna, go on the side of the Lannisters, or do you think he'll stay true to his support of House Tyrell?
Well, he's been offered both positions, at the end of the day. So I think he really is going to go with Cersei simply because she's pointed out that foreign invaders are on the shores of Westeros. Yeah. And it's because of Olenna Tyrell. Is that her name?
Yep.
Yeah, it's because of her that, and obviously he's a traditionalist. He's a xenophobic. So I think at the end of the day, he's going to side up with the crown. And also, we are kind of running out of bad guys, human bad guys. So we need him, and he's the biggest douchebag left who hasn't been killed off yet after Cersei and all that.
I agree 100%. I think that he's gonna go with the side of the Lannisters, and you're gonna see him burn because of it. He's gonna be a dick on the battlefield. He's gonna kill some characters that we like because he's a fucking crazy warrior, and we're gonna actually get to see that at some point. But ultimately, he's gonna suffer dragon fire or something like that. He's gonna die in a giant cat like crazy. It's gonna be a very rewarding death.
Yeah.
This is from SSB. If you have time on the follow-up show, can you touch on the following predictions? Sam is either going to get killed or kicked out. I think he gets kicked out with Jorah and has to use the family sword to kill Daddy Tarly, and now 6'10" Dickon Tarly. I would also love for the Queen of Thorns to handle the Tarly problem. I just want more Queen of Thorns. Crossbows may work against the dragons. Okay, that's what I wanted to get to. The crossbow. I talked a lot about how I don't think the crossbow is going to work to kill a dragon because it's a moving dragon. Why am I an idiot, Nick? Is the crossbow going to work? Is this a smart strategy from Qyburn?
Well, what else have they got?
Very good question.
Dragon fire is not going to do much against the moving target. I think the crossbow is the best chance. I think you just need to lure that dragon into a tight space. It's like in a tunnel or something like that, and then fire that thing at its head.
And I'll also reiterate what we were talking about with the wall, and something I didn't say the other night because I'm in the recap. I'm like, fuck that thing. Yeah, the dragon's going to burn that thing. But ultimately, I think that you don't introduce that if it's not going to at least hit a dragon. Even if it goes through a dragon's wing and then Dany gets scared and retreats her dragons or something like that, it's definitely going to hit a dragon at some point.
I mean, that dragon got wounded by the Sons of the Harpy in a really unimpressive way.
Yeah, and those guys suck. Those guys fucking suck.
I was like, wow, these are the dragons that conquered Westeros. You know? How?
A couple rapid fire quick comments. Jon Snow's grandpa killed his own other grandpa. That's going to be awkward for him when he finds that out. Need to watch Varys' reaction to Jon. He must know the truth. And that's from area code 323 and area code 505, respectively. Your mom here says, I had a strong sandwich, and the chat is going too fast. Do you think there's any significance to Nymeria turning away from Arya? I think the significance to Nymeria turning away from Arya is just to show that they lead their own lives. They've had their own paths. But I think the significance there in the scene, the biggest significance is that she didn't let the other wolves attack Arya. And she didn't attack her. She didn't growl at her. She just looked at her, said, we cool, and walked off. What do you think, Nick?
100%. Well, obviously, the Nymeria is at the head of a pack now, so she can't exactly ditch them. But also, I think it's more important with how Arya perceives that moment, and she sees it like that the last shed of her old life is gone. You can't bring it back.
Yeah, no, very very well said. And I think it's also a little bit of, Mom, don't talk to me. I'm around my fucking friends. You're embarrassing me, Mom. I think, and I do think we will see the wolves again at some point in time. Love you all. And instead of a text, and this is Michelle, instead of calling me Texter from Providence, I've been watching 2 years. The worst part of the show was they should have showed what Grey Worm's junk looked like. This is from Phil. About the plan Granny Tyrell and Yara have. I think Dany doesn't have that fine control of her dragons. Maybe just Drogon. Don't Dothraki insist on raping and pillaging when on the warpath? She wants to rule, not ruin. Hi from T Major. My only issue about that, again, is then why bring the Dothraki at all? You have the Dothraki. What are you waiting for? Are you just going to have them sit on the sidelines? Somewhere there's a bunch of Dothraki just sitting so this is Westeros. Are they just still getting used to having been on the boats, so they're all throwing up somewhere? I get that maybe they're going with the Unsullied, but that wasn't said. It's Grey Worm's taking...
I honestly don't see how the Dothraki are going to be much use unless you give them armor. Because
I agree with
they're butt naked. And I know they're supposed to represent like the Native Americans and the Mongols, but the thing is the Mongols actually wore effing armor. They had armor and they had like silk shirts, which made them like arrow proof. So what the Dothraki are going to do against armored knights is it's going to be very difficult.
Yeah, even with dragons on their backs, they're going to be the first people dying. They're going to be They're going to be that first group that charges the field and literally Jaime and his forces, or Randall Tarley and his forces are just going to chop them up. That's my point. If you don't have the Dothraki rape and pillage villages, that's what they do. What are you doing? Yeah. You're just killing them. You brought them here to let them die. Yeah, because you're right. Unless you armor them up, which they're never going to fucking wear armor, because they're just going to be like, no, we don't wear armor. No, we don't wear it. No, fuck you.
No, they're not going to do it because they don't know how to fight this way. They know how to fight, with great speed and efficiency, but it's not going to work.
And I know we've seen in the trailer that we saw the Dothraki fighting. We saw one of them jump off their horse and fight. I think we're going to see some Dothrakis get some big kills, but I don't see many of them surviving whatever battle we see them in.
No, absolutely not.
Patty N with the super chat donation, $2 super chat donation. Patty, you're amazing. Let me spin the wheel. Carmine, if you're still watching, you landed on review commentary of your choice, so you get to have me make a review or do a podcast on anything you want. So send me a private message if you hear this. And I gotta do a stupid, silly little dance before the show's over for a Patty N. Thank you, Patty N, for that super chat donation. And we got a couple more questions before we call this a podcast. Did anyone else see the crazy trying to come out of Dany tonight? Lady Olenna should be cautious about telling her to be a dragon. Yeah, I think Dany has that laid in somewhere inside her. I've talked about it a lot. Nick, do you think Dany's crazy will come out before the end, or do you think I'm just hoping more than thinking?
It's certainly a possibility. I mean, she's definitely been threatening people a lot more recently. Instead of playing the smart game of using the allies that she currently has. But that would have to be a problem for another day. Like, let's just take care of one crazy queen before we deal with another.
Excellent point. Jess says, so, do the Dothraki just not rape and pillage now? Corey Mitchell says she has 50,000 Dothrakis. I think the Lannister army has 8,000 total. Then again, where are the 50,000? I know they have them, but they got to be doing something. Are they just pillaging, walking around Dragonstone right now? We haven't seen one of them. I just missed. I was excited when they got brought back into it just because they're an interesting element from they're just a different culture in this world, and I like seeing that. But I that's why I hope that maybe at some point, I know they're supposed to all, the thing last year with her with the fire and the Dothraki mean that they'll do anything she says now. But from what we've seen, even when they would do anything Drogo said, there's still dissension in the ranks of the Dothraki. There can't be, of all those 50,000 Dothraki, some of them that are like, okay, we're in Westeros now, let's go fucking rape and pillage. I know they have them on an island in Dragonstone, but still, they got to, at some point, they're going to be very angry and have to go do what they do.
Absolutely. I mean, like, they do rape and pillage, and that's what the whole culture is based on. And they're only following Daenerys because she is the strongest. But if she's pussying out when they arrive at their destination, then they might be like, I feel like going back home now, actually.
Yeah, it's just that, like, you can't not do what you do. It's like asking me not to nitpick shit. So Lady Wolferton, Den of Lady Wolferton, thank you so much for the super chat donation. You get a spin of the fucking wheel. Really appreciate all the support you guys are giving us today here in the live fucking chat and checking out this live stream. I have to, so I have some drumming to do at the end of this podcast that needs to be done. So thank you so much for all your donations. We really do appreciate that. So let me continue down. Hello, sorry I'm lazy. I'm lazy, but I'm good to be here eventually. Thank you, Cynthia. So we're wrapping things up, the last couple questions, but we really do appreciate and hope you go back and watch the whole cast. And again, make sure you check out Nick. Hey guys, it's Aubrey Anna live in the chat room during your recap. If you look at the opening credits now, this is what someone was saying earlier. The Bay of Seals is frozen now. And it is. I think that's going to have to do with the battle that we're going to see there. Nick was saying earlier, and I agree, it would be kind of a cheat to have them go around the wall and not take down the wall. It would
kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah. Oh, you mean we could have gone around the wall the whole time?
Yeah.
All we needed to do with our ice power is freeze some water. I mean, I'm pretty sure we could have done that at any point in time. So I've seen the Icemen and I've seen the X-Men Icemen. Okay, so was the whole fleet destroyed? Will there be some fun mountain torture to come from Joe from SoCal? I think we are going to see some fun mountain torture soon, but I think we're going to see more Cersei doing it with Ilaria and Bad Pussy. I think we're gonna see a little bit more Cersei being a little bit more hands-on with them than with Shame. I don't think that she'll give them to the mountain quite yet, but I do think.
Is Cersei going to marry Euron, you think? She's going to keep her word?
My hope is that she does, because I think that might be the last straw that Jaime needs to say fuck you to her finally. If she actually, knowledge brings another man again into their lives and breaks them up, because I think he's part of what's brainwashing him here is her ability to say fuck everybody. I'm queen now. I can be her husband essentially. So I think if she does really bring Euron in and he kind of fucks with Jaime a little bit too much, I think it might be the last straw that Jaime needs to say, fuck this. Especially once he sees dragons or sees White Walkers. He's a pretty... I think at core, he's, I want to protect the realm. And when he sees these crazy supernatural forces, I don't see him dealing with silly bullshit anymore. At least that's my hope.
Yeah, me too.
So, but who knows? He could just end up being a whipped motherfucker and just ride Cersei right down to the ground in ashes and never get a backbone for himself. It could absolutely go down that way, and I would not be fucking surprised.
Yeah.
So these two people jumping on the boat in the trailer. Who's the other one? They're two people. I have actually not watched the trailer yet, but I'm going to be talking about the trailer on Friday afternoon, so I'll get into that. Then. But let's go. A couple more questions. Melisandre will meet Tyrion soon. Maybe she will notice that he's got king's blood. I know Melisandre could vouch for Jon. I think it'll save her life when Jon and Davos arrive. Qyburn is a secret Targaryen dude. I'm telling you, from Poe Chambers. Azimuth Games says, it's tragic that Arya is going to miss her family again. Jon won't be in Winterfell. Alaria was going to go home and get the army, and the ships were to go to Dorne to get the Dornish army because they're further. That's what Nick was saying earlier, too. Don't understand why they didn't just head half the fleet, go to Dorne ahead of time, take the big fleet to Dorne. There's a lot of things they could have done that was a lot smarter than this.
Yes.
And
they could have been. They didn't need a procrastination on Tyrion's side.
No, not even a little bit, Nick. Not even a little bit. So 50 block paper, our last question of the night that we have here. Then we might take a couple chat questions before we call this a stream. One, Qyburn's crossbone with Cersei rocking that shortcut is Joffrey reborn. She does remind me a lot of Joffrey. Second, all of King's Landing is set with wildfire and Tyrion knows it. Third, do you think that's a factor, Nick, in Tyrion not wanting to let the dragons burn King's Landing because he knows there's wildfire everywhere?
Oh, God, I didn't even think about that. That's a really good point.
That's an excellent point. 50 block paper.
Yeah, and also Cersei is a crazy bitch. I mean, like, if she feels like she's going to be killed, she'll blow everybody up.
Yeah, that's an excellent point, 50 block. And third, sorry, Jon Snow's destined to die, and he's already accepted it. So do you think Jon Snow gets the Frodo end at the end of this whole series and has to go back to being dead?
That would be the poetic way for him to go out, but I think it's going to be he's going to have to make some really harsh decision instead that doesn't sacrifice himself, but maybe someone else.
Yep, and
that would make the most sense to me for this kind of show.
Yeah, no, because it would be somewhat, because they often talk about it being bittersweet, and it could possibly be Daenerys if him and her form an alliance and they become close. It could be a dragon if Jon gets one of the dragons for being a Targaryen. Something huge, some big losses he'll have to face and have to live his days in a weird sort of state. Let's take a couple more chats, and then I will let Nick go. I think there's more to the walk around the wall theory. Do you remember when the Hound looked into the fire? He said, where the wall meets the sea, the dead are walking past it. So maybe there's, just to go to that theory a little bit and lay a little bit more credence and put a little bit wizardy, I use a wizard there. So maybe they'll freeze there, they'll walk around, but they still need to break part of the wall that's there to break the magic. So they can't just walk across without breaking the wall, but then once they do, they can kind of just completely flood around that area, and that will be the area of the wall that they break down. They'll be attacking Eastwatch by the Sea, break down the wall in that area, and then kind of be coming from that direction, walking, then using the water as a path to get there quick to go as the crow flies or something. So maybe,
how many wildlings has Tormund got with him by Eastwatch?
Nick, not enough. Not enough, dude. Yeah. More dead men walking here, more fucking dead men walking. And so I think on that note, there's a good point to let off. Nick, again, thank you so much for joining us. And this is a little look at Nick Hodges' page on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to Nick Hodges. Puts out lots of amazing content, lots of great movies. Can you tease at all anything, what your next thing is, what might be coming soon?
I'm actually working on a couple of videos. So I'm researching HBO's Rome right now. And
great fucking show.
Have you seen that show?
Yeah, I have a long time ago, but it's been a while, but I have seen it.
Yeah, no, absolutely badass. And I'm not sure whether it's going to be a two-parter or a single video. I'm still in the writing stage, but I will also be releasing, I should be releasing some other videos that aren't reviews, just to keep in, just to pass the time whilst I'm working on Rome, because it is a big project, because HBO's Rome, like it's two seasons and they skip over like 20 years of history, and trying to condense everything down and present it in layman's terms is a wee bit tricky. So yeah. So hopefully you'll see something soon.
Excellent. I cannot wait. But yeah, make sure everybody out there, if you haven't already, check out Nick Hodges on YouTube. Lots of love to Nick. Lots of love to everyone in the live motherfucking chat. I don't still see him here, but Carmine, Iron Throne, Maiden of Doctor says, Lady Wolf, Tom himself, Cynthia, Patty, 1998 champions, Titania, Tormund becomes a white. Holy shit. Tom Ryder says Nick Hodges rules. Tom says Shaggy is a nice Shaggy's a nice guy. I'll sub to that. How long does the Dead Army march? This could be they should be in Dorne by now. The opening credits burn down the wall, Bloody Talker. And thank you, Iron, for putting History Buffs link in the chat. Quixote, Bloody Talker, Ian, so much love to all you guys. I'll be back on Friday afternoon or maybe Thursday night. I haven't decided yet to do my trailer reaction and all of that and look at the pictures for next week's episode. And we'll be back next week for another feedback show with another guest. And hopefully this won't be the last time you see Nick on the channel as well. And he'll pop on again some other time. He is invited anytime he wants to come back over. So
thanks very much. I had an awesome time.
Thank you, buddy. So I owe you guys a quick little drum thing. So let me do that really quickly. It won't be too long. Okay, that's enough of that. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Cannot thank you guys enough. And if you haven't already and you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Share the channel with a friend. Help us grow. Help us go. Join us all season long of Game of Thrones. 3 podcasts a week of Game of Thrones. Lots of silly goofiness. Lots of craziness. Join us this Sunday right after the episode airs, 10:30. Subscribe. Join us. We do an after show right after and get all sorts of wacky. And I have Joe. Joe's unlike anybody else, and he's just loud and obnoxious and crazy, and I'm annoying as hell. So join up. It's amazing. We'll talk to you guys later. Talk to you guys next time. Later.
Okay. All right. Take care. That was a lot of fun.